Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is July the 28th, 2020, and today we're going to be taking a look at Isaiah 9:2. We're going to start at Isaiah, I'm sorry, I said 9:2, I meant 19 verse 2. We're going to start reading from verse 1 though. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, I think that I may have made a comment or something about this might be, that this might be a civil war. I don't believe that anymore, and I wanted to put the correction out. It's in the wording. When you read it at a surface level, it says Egyptian against Egyptian. So you see there's some sort of internal strife, that's for sure. That part is obvious. But then it seems to get progressively worse. It goes brother against brother, everyone against their neighbor, and then city, and then kingdom. So it seems to get progressively worse. But it's in the wording. You have to look at the wording. And that's what made me decide that this cannot be a civil war. Let's take a look. So Egyptian against Egyptian, that's pretty clear. But then there's this semicolon, which is giving you further information about what is meant by Egyptian against Egyptian. So it goes on to say, and they shall fight. Instead of brother against brother, it says everyone against his brother. And then it repeats everyone against his neighbor. And then there's a semicolon. So this line is explaining Egyptian against Egyptian. And this line is explaining brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. It's telling you why they're fighting. This is telling you who's fighting, and this is telling you why they're fighting. So then it goes city against city. Well, we know there's a verse in Jeremiah. Hold on. Jeremiah 11. I looked it up before, so I think it's 13. For according to the number of thy cities were thy gods, O Judah. Well, were thy gods. So cities, in essence, they're fighting. Hold on. When it says city against city, it's the kingdom of God versus the kingdom of Satan. That's what they're fighting over. And then kingdom against kingdom. Let's look at the definition. Dominion. The estate, rule, the country, realm, anything like that. So, now, I know also there was some question. There's a word, I think it's in Matthew 24. I hadn't planned on doing this, but it just came to my mind. I think it's in Matthew 24. Hold on. There's a word in the definition. It says race. I think it's in Luke as well. Let's go to Luke since that's the one that we tend to use. Luke 21. And I'm not saying there's not a civil war. I can't say that I believe that. And there are some questionable verses that I am looking at. I'm not going to say because I don't want to do another correction. But there are some questionable verses. I just don't think that Isaiah 19:2 is one. So, nation shall rise against nation. Hold on. I believe one of these words has race in the definition. Race in the Bible is not, here we go, nation against nation. A race as the same habit, that is, a tribe, specifically a foreigner, non-Jewish one, usually by implication pagan, Gentile, heathen nation people. Yeah, if you read on, it actually does give you the correct definition. But a race of people, everyone was black, okay? You cannot say that this is a race war because No one was going to fight anyone for their race back in the days of the Bible. It was about your heritage, who you came from. The Hittites came from the Hittites. The Jewish people came from Israel. You know, the Moabites came from Moab. It was your heritage that was your race. I remember when I was studying Sister White's writing. Sister White, she wrote something, and the moment she said race, she said it was an amalgamation of the race. And the moment she said race, everybody said, oh, she meant black people. She meant black people. But if you go back and read what she actually said in context, she is using race to describe the character of the person. It was amalgamated from the image of God into the image of Satan. And she used race to describe the character, those who served God versus the seed of God versus the seed of Satan. So this race is really truly an invention of America from not too long ago. So you cannot look at nation against nation and say that that's race against race. There are some verses, but I really would not say that this is one of them. Just personally, I would not count it as anything to do with a race war. No. And we know that there's going to be a world war at the end of the ages. We've already looked at that in Jeremiah 25. We know that there's going to be a third world war. And I'm going to refresh my memory as well as yours just to make sure. No, because I don't want to take you anywhere I don't need to. But after the 70 years, it says that everybody has to drink from that cup of affliction, that golden cup of affliction. And Jeremiah goes from nation to nation and says, no, I'm bringing judgment against my people, and you think you're not going to suffer? No, everybody is going to drink from that cup of affliction, and there's going to be world war. And we have quotes from Sister White that describe that world war as a civil war for some reason. I have no idea why, but we have to look at the wording for that time as well. And I think that if you read the full definition of nation, I think it does a good job of explaining that a nation is not black or white like the Americans have placed it. So anyway, I think that's good enough for now. We're going to leave it at that. And if you have any questions or comments, then you are welcome to leave them below. Yahweh bless.